our Southern Illinois. Inside Saluki Athletics, the official coaches show of Saluki Athletics. Now, here is the voice of the Salukis, Luke Martin.
Welcome everybody back inside the Wells Production Studio here on the campus of SIU as it's inside Saluki Athletics, getting you geared up for homecoming week, which is always a fun week here in Carbondale, alongside the head football coach Nick Hill to preview the homecoming game this weekend against UNI and, of course, recap the game over the weekend for Blackout Cancer against North Dakota. Coach, appreciate the time as always, and I know the game, I know the result. We talked about after the game, it wasn't anywhere near the standards that you and the program want. But first, let's do a recap on just, I thought it was really neat after the game to still see your guys interact with all of the jersey donations, of course, that came in, to put the names on the back. And you spent a lot of time in the press conference talking about it. I wish I was able to ask you about it on the radio, but we were just kind of, in that frenzy after the game. But it is a good reminder. We understand wanted to win that day and wanted a better result to sit on, but it's also just a really good reminder to know that it's much more than just the game of football on that day for the SIH Blackout Cancer.
Yeah,
game.
it's a great game. It's for a lot of reasons, mainly just the impact that you can have. I mean, you want to give your student athletes an opportunity to give back and play for something more. Just so many things that you could describe that game, and it's a perfect in athletics. As a coach using that game, I know our basketball team does it, but just like, when we found ourselves in a game like that you could really, lose your composure or start to complain, start to point fingers, right? And even the night before the game and all week, you talk about, like, when your mind goes somewhere, because as humans, you're naturally going to do that, right? You're going to have emotions. And then it's how you deal with those emotions in life and in a game. That's why sports are so, reflective of teaching you life moments, how you're going to respond to them. And so just thinking about that name on the back of your jersey, that's what I challenged them to do, really challenged them to do it at halftime, right? Whatever your thought process right now at half, we're down 28-0. Right, I told them all, like, take a second, think about the person's name on the back of your jersey, think about the families affected, right? They could, not that they could care less that we're losing, but that's like a little, if you would be talking to them right now and telling them about your problems in this game, they don't really care, right? That's so small. So get your mindset right to go out there and compete, and like so many have with that horrible disease. And so it's a good teaching moment for our guys. And then after the game, that's what I told them. I mean, if your person's out there to go take pictures, then you do it with a smile, and you take 100 pictures if you have to. And I think our guys, it wasn't like we had to force anybody to go do it, and because you're thankful for that. And I think it's a good teaching moment for those guys too. Like, you feel some sort of way, disappointed in something, but then you got to quickly have a smile on your face and go do something for someone else. Worry about how they're feeling.
I'll tell you what, Coach Hill, no one wants it more than you and your players. And no one's more disappointed after a result on Saturday than you guys. How do you really make sure that you compose it and take it in the right way after, it was just a really bad day at the office, and, you set the tone for everybody, not just immediately in that locker room, but your actions once you leave that locker room that day. Just you've been around it. You've been a part of some really exciting days. You've been a part of disappointing days. Just what do you find is most important that you just try to make sure that you compose yourself after a really difficult day?
Yeah, I think with experience too, you've been in those moments. If you coach this game long enough, whether whoever you are, right? Like you won Super Bowls, you're Bill Belichick, You're going to have those moments, and then there's probably times as a younger coach I wish I would have handled myself differently, or maybe like, hey, take a deep breath, go home, watch the tape, think about it, what messaging, Obviously, in the locker room, we preach about that all the time, and hopefully I've been a coach that comes into that team meeting room every day with a perspective on however things are going, with a great outlook. The next day, like I showed a I was in Colorado one time skiing, and we stayed at a place. It's my cousin's place, and there was this book. I always get up early, and I like to read, and I just saw this book, and I'm flipping through. It was an awesome book, but it's called the Little Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And there was a page on there that I've always stayed, and it's like they're walking through. It's really about life. It's an adult book, really, with pictures, and it's just like a picture of them. And I think the mole asked the little boy, like, are you a half glass empty or a half glass full? And he said, I'm just happy to have a glass, And so when you can look at things, like, you can look at it half full, like, with opportunity, but sometimes your cup's empty, but you still see some opportunity there to go fill it up, And so you want your team to have a perspective and learn through life that, that you can kind of control, like, not your circumstances you find yourself in right there, but you can control how you respond to it, and then what happens after those things happen. And so, that's what we've been challenged with. And then you have to look critically at that. That's what I said on those Sundays. If you don't go back and call out the mistakes, call out maybe the response in some situations, our emotions, and when we do, and you don't grow from it, then those and not that those results aren't going to happen in the future, but we got to be able to get some of those things fixed. I always hear coaches talk about it all the time, like, we got to coach better, and sometimes I'm like, what do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean by that? But there were instances in there that we needed to make better in-game decisions to put our guys in a better spot. It would have definitely helped the outcome on those series. And so you got to show those guys that too. That was the first thing I showed them when we started talking about the game on that Sunday meeting, is like, these are three critical coaching errors that I could have done a better job calling timeout, reset, that we could all communicated better on the headset. That's what I've emphasized to the staff too. Like, it's just not all like, if somebody's thinking I'm making a bad decision, speak up. You know what I mean? Like, make sure, like, I'm thinking in my head both sides of it, and then ultimately I've got to live with whatever decision I make. But there was a few things in there, and then like, I think we did a good job, as a staff. I know I did. Is like, we tweaked a few things in practice today that maybe. We had maybe some blinders on that caught up with us in that game, of making sure that we execute in the moment, right? So, just how we call the plays in practice, making sure that it's reflective of the game. We can't get going too fast and take for granted that the coach is behind you, getting you lined up in those moments, because we've got to be able to go do that live Tuesday through Thursday. Maybe a few things like that. And so, and I also told them that, like, when you start talking about we didn't execute well, there's probably, I think we had 75 plays. There's probably, 68 of them that we do execute well. They were those first two drives, the first third and 2, third and 3. We got to go convert those. When you think about, I think we're top 10 in the country in conversion downs, third and fourth down, right? And so that's going to win you a lot of games, especially playing the schedule that we have, So, but when you're third and 3 and less, like, that percentage should be really up there, where your percentage go down, obviously, as the further away you get. And so we got to find a way to go pick up those. If we didn't on the first one, that second one, and those are coaching points too. Like, we got headset communications now. If I want him if that's a run call, and in my mind I'm calling a run, and we end up throwing it, that's a reminder I can put in DJ's mind before the snap. And so I didn't, and we threw it, and it was incomplete, and we had to punt again. And so those are all things that we've got to learn from, but also see the good in the tape, believe that we're a good team, not just saying it, but I know we have a good football team. We got beat by 2 top 5 teams that exposed some things that now we can go and grow and get better and get on a run here, and look forward to that challenge.
I think that's the biggest thing that I also want to convey, and at times you get so tied up and emotional in it because we all look at it from a Saluki perspective, but I know you have a ton of respect for Eric Schmidt, that staff. I mean, we don't have to rehash all the connections that you guys share. they got a really good football team, and I don't think that should get lost. And I understand you guys wanted to put a better foot forward and have a better product on Saturday, but also North Dakota is really darn good. And we all, and when I say we, I'm talking about Mike and Coach Poor, we talked about on the postgame show after we're done talking to you, just really impressed with their team. I mean, that's a darn good football team that you play. And as you said, you got to remind yourself, too, last 2 weeks, it's not fun to lose, but those are 2 top 5 teams that are going to be competing for a national championship.
Yeah, and I think what well, then we got to make sure that we remain with that confidence and go play with that, which I think that we will. Is you know, I think what I like about this team is like the disappointment, the expectations, even the expectations from the fans and everybody that we need to win those top 5 games, right? Like we went into those games with the building, the administration that we're going to go win, and it's not always been that way around here. Yeah. That we're playing a top 10 team, and we're a top 10 team, or we feel like we're just as good. We need to go win this game, and so there's a disappointment with the players that you come out of there but they create a lot of that too, the team that you're playing. And when you're playing good teams, the margin for error always goes down. So in those margin plays, if you don't execute those, they get kind of, magnified a little bit. And on Saturday, it proves that we got to be good in those situations.
One of the many reasons I try to make an effort to come even see you guys practice on a Sunday, and even more so after a loss, is it's always impressive to me to just see how young athletes are so resilient. Not even 24 hours after a disappointing result, they're right back out there. They're working. Many of them, maybe not be the biggest smile after a loss, but you can tell there's that intention and the attention to detail when they're back out there on a Sunday. Like for you, that's got to be a sign that we talk about all the time of you recruit to it. It's why you bring these guys within the program. But to me, when you feel down the dumps on a Saturday and you get right back out there on Sunday, like that's one of the most uplifting things for me to be around you guys on a Sunday, is just to see how your team it's moving forward. Let's go. Like right. It's not wasting any time.
Yeah, no, I think, and that's why I like practicing on Sunday. We've done it both ways for a couple of years here, and a lot of schools will give Sunday off, practice on Monday, but I just hated that of not getting your team together after win or lose on Sunday to put that game to bed, to talk about it, address the issues, and then we take Monday off. And so that's the challenge to us. I think you're quickly reminded like that. I shared that even with our team, like in life, like your family and everything is going to give you that grace, but like with young kids, you don't have time to be down, right? Like that's why I took a boba with Alicia. She sat with me while I watched the tape, because I was like, I want to watch this before I even go home, just quickly, and then I'll watch it again and again. But there's just a few plays in my mind. Like as soon as I was done with the press conference, I'm watching the tape, and but I needed that moment, because I knew like when you step out, like the girls were waiting for me. It was still light. Playing at noon. I like playing at noon. But you get out of the car, the girls are waiting for me. As I'm opening up the door, Presley still thinks we've won the game. She just keeps on saying, "Good job, Dad." Like, it's got their SIU stuff on. She thinks we've won. She doesn't know. Skylar's at the age where she's like feels bad for me, but she's in sports now, volleyball. I've seen her not pout, but like be sad and all that kind of stuff. And I told her, like, she's trying to make me feel better. And I said, like, you see the smile on my face right now. Like, I need you to respond like this year in volleyball when Dad's telling you, like, it's going to be all right. You know what I mean? We got beat. You didn't play good, but you got to keep going. You can't come home and be pouting in your room, And she's like, okay. So then you like quickly realize, like, hey, I got to, like you asked, like, how do you keep doing that? Is I just don't think there's the other choice just keeps making everybody around you down too.
Yes.
Right. So it's to have a good perspective. It's to approach those things, take accountability, and then just respond the right way.
Well, early Sunday morning, you also got really good news on Branson Combs. Was able to get in his first NFL game. Looks like that role for him is going to continue to expand. You'll have another NFL player this weekend, Jeremy Chin, going into the Hall of Fame, being back on campus on Friday. Just, that's got to be, again, it's just one of those things. If you think about the program, Branson, a guy who got his degree from here, went on to Wake Forest, had a strong year. Now, of course, having his opportunity in the NFL, and we all know what Jeremy Chin has meant to the program and specifically to you personally as well. And what a great honor for him to go into the Hall of Fame on Friday.
Yeah, no, it'll be a special day. It's special having him back. You know, there's probably more to come in the future, but as far as like being the head coach now, you know, you got to wait 5 years, but you know, it's really the first opportunity for someone that we recruited here and to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That you recruited, you saw go through it, and then having success, the person that he is. It'll be cool to have him back, him wanting to come back and creating an atmosphere where, like, the school's going to celebrate you. It'll be fun. And then also, yeah, very proud of Branson. You know, Branson spent 5 years here. You know, it wasn't like he was a transfer that left and we're claiming him because he was here for one season or something like that, you know. We still claim Brandon Jacobs. He was here for like 6 months. And but Branson was here 5 years, played multiple positions, grew, matured here. And so he's one of ours. And it'll be cool to have him back on the just here in Carbon. He's such good friends with still a lot of these guys, you know, played with a lot of these guys. Obviously, Lindauer being here on staff. So there's not much that Branson does that we don't hear about on a daily basis, you know, just even reports from practice, meetings, how his trip to London was. So it'd be cool to have those guys back.
Cool experience for him, too, that your first game NFL experience is overseas in London.
Yeah, no, I think Lindauer was saying, too, and I think Branson probably wasted money on other things in his life, but it's nice to hear that now he's a father. He's married, yes. But they were staying at a cool resort. You know, they're playing in probably some of the coolest golf courses in the world over there. And he said he wouldn't go golfing because it cost $380. And I'm sure a lot of the vets were golfing because they went over there early. You know, the Rams went over there last minute. They went over there real early, so they had multiple days over there. I think a day where they could just go sightsee and see some things. So it's good to know Branson's being a tightwad now, making active money in the NFL, but can't go play.
Let's switch to the game on Saturday against Northern Iowa. Coach Todd Stepsis takes over for Mark Farley, who was there for years and years and years. And what's neat for me to look at the history, Coach Hill, and I don't know if you spend much time with your team talking about this fact, but when you were playing, I mean, this was the rivalry. It was Northern Iowa, SIU. Those two teams were duking out to who was going to win the Gateway Conference at the time, now known as the Missouri Valley Football Conference. And what's crazy to me is since Coach Kill took the job in 2001, there's been 20 meetings. 15 of them have come down virtually to the final play, have been one-possession games. I mean, this has been a entertaining, really good rivalry between these two schools. They've been off the schedule the last couple of years, but with Coach Stepsis taking over, I'm sure there's got to be some extra juice for you being a Saluki player that, man, when you and I and SIU play, it means a lot when these two teams do duke it out.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, multiple coaches on our end. I mean, from the time that we played with Coach Kill, Coach Lennon, we've had some great games with Coach Lennon. You know, Coach Lennon winning in the Dome for the first time. And then the last 3 times we've played them, it has come down to the last play. You know, COVID, we scored, and it was like then they get the ball, and we cover the kick. I remember it like it was yesterday. They get to 4th and 10. We think we've got, you know, get a stop right here. We win the game. They hit a slant. I think he's going to score and go all the way down. They've got the best kicker in MVC history. I think his last name Cook. And he misses like a 28-yard field goal to win the game, and we have a walk-off win. And then we go back the next year to the Dome. It's a great game. We go on a 2-minute drive all the way down. We get tackled at the 8. We ultimately have no timeouts left, so we got to keep throwing it, and we're going to run out of time. And we have a couple bang-bang plays, and we don't score. They win. And then in 2022 here, you know, we throw the Hail Mary to Jathan. He catches it. Half the crowd thinks we won. It goes to review forever. We don't win. So a lot of them have come down to the last play. But I don't know if our guys, like, if that you know, like, means, but it does to me.
Yeah.
Really just letting them know, like, this is a program that has an expectation of winning, the history of who you're playing. I think that's quickly important. But in this day and age, these guys, like, they're just so consumed in the now. We haven't played really many of the players that are on that roster because we haven't played them the last 2 years. So even the guys that are back, you know, who we're playing, like, hey, they're a returning starter, but we haven't played them. And so it's good to have them back on the schedule, and always look forward to this game.
You look at their team, I know offensively they've had a lot of injuries at their wide receiver position. I know that's hurt them in terms they want to run the football, and they haven't done it as effectively as they want. But you flip it defensively, they've been a really good defense this year. What's impressed you about their defense? And it's not a surprise because that's really been a continuation on of what Coach Farley really recruited.
Yeah, they have. They've played good defense in our league this year. I mean, North Dakota scored on defense to get them going. And then they found some things and got going. But then, you know, South Dakota State, it was kind of an ugly game for a while. South Dakota State ended up kind of wearing them down and scoring several late. But there for like a good 2 quarters, there was just no scores in that game. It was 14-3, and it was 14-3 for a long time. So they found ways on the road and at home to play good defense. And then last weekend, you know, 17-14 against South Dakota, and really kept South Dakota scoreless for like the last 20 minutes of the game. I know they didn't score in the fourth quarter. And so they've been playing good defense. They're going to be fairly multiple, you know, a 4 down and play a little bit of the 3 down, some bear stuff. And they do a good job mixing up pressures, playing man-to-man defense, making you earn it. So they've done a nice job.
Coach, we appreciate the time. We'll let you get back to preparation, and I know it'll be a fun week with the Hall of Fame on Friday and then ultimately the game on Saturday. We appreciate the time.
All right, appreciate it.
Once again, I was head coach Nick Hill. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back and return, let's dive into Saluki volleyball. Great weekend for the Salukis on the volleyball court, coming off a road weekend sweep of Bradley and Illinois State. This is Inside.
Hi, I'm Nevaeh Laster. I'm a junior and I'm a middle for SIU volleyball. I'm from Mattoon, Illinois. To me, it's home. It's where I grew up and where all my family's at. I would say volleyball became more than just a game to me when I was a junior in high school. I would say my friends put the ball in my hands. That's kind of just why I started playing, was because of all my friends. I would say the most challenging thing for me was my confidence on the court. I never thought about giving up. I knew that I wanted to play for as long as I could. One thing the game has taught me that has applied to life is how important relationships are and how important it is to build them with the people around you. One thing about my path people wouldn't expect is that I didn't decide I wanted to play in college until my junior year of high school. Deep down, I play for my parents and my family. Wearing this SIU jersey means playing for a community and making people proud. My why is my family. If I wasn't playing volleyball, I would probably just be a regular student. I define success by always being the best that I can be. My pre-game ritual is tying my shoes. My volleyball role model is Andy Jackson. I chose SIU because I knew that I liked the area. When I was on campus, I just enjoyed walking around, and the girls made me feel really welcome. Once I leave SIU, I plan to move back to Mattoon and start a career there. If my journey was a movie, it'd be titled Heaven on Earth. Playing for SIU means being part of an underdog story.
Welcome everybody back to Inside Saluki Athletics. What a weekend it was for these two ladies in Saluki volleyball, coming off a weekend sweep of Bradley and Illinois State. And by the way, they swept the Redbirds in normal for the first time since 2009. A long time since the Salukis were able to accomplish that. Of course, Kelly Franklin and Ella Swanziger join us here on the show. Ladies, congratulations on the great weekend. How was the weekend? I mean, you can't be too frustrated with how this past weekend went.
No, it was really good.
definitely showed some adversity, like the reverse sweep was, it showed our strength and showed our capabilities, and really I think it gave us confidence for us to be able to play some clean volleyball and just have trust in each other that we were going to accomplish stuff like that.
Ella, you talk about that reverse sweep. I mean, 20 kills, I believe, is what you had against Bradley. I mean, how were you feeling in that match to really be on that type of roll?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of our assistant coaches has said before, like, hungry dogs run fast, and I think right now we're as hungry as we've ever been. So I think every game right now, going into the second half of conference play, we're ready to just ball out. Like, there's just no thought put into it. We just want to go play.
We've had Coach Harry on the show this year, caught up with Larissa as well and Emma earlier on in the year. Blind trust has obviously been really the phrase that has described this team this year. How has that brought you all together, Kelly, for someone, I mean, both of you, with experience here at SIU and what it's meant to really start this new era of Saluki volleyball?
Yeah, I think it's just put an emphasis on doing our jobs for each other and our why. We all have whys for the season, like why we play volleyball. We all got into it because it was fun, but we've all come this far because of some reason, some greater reason. So I think leaning on each other and doing our jobs for each other just pushes us to be better and just find that 1% every day.
What do you believe, Ella, has led this team to have the blind trust and the teammates, which you get to know, but also within the staff that you just got to know this year?
I think just establishing, like, the expectation from day one with this coaching staff, I think they've made it very apparent that everyone just needs to be bought in, and I think every player on this team has full-heartedly adopted that, and I think that's just made us where we are right now.
Seasons go kind of emotional swings at times. You win both matches over this weekend. Of course, that came after you lost 5 in a row. How have you all, being key leaders on this team, and Kelly, we can start with you, of just managing those emotions of, hey, you lost 5 in a row, you're down 2-0, you find the reverse sweep, roll it in Illinois State. How do you manage those emotions as you go throughout the year, which can be ever-changing?
I think one of the things that was said recently was be where my feet are. What's important now is another thing that we live by. So volleyball is one of those games where a point's let go, but you have 25 in a set. So you really can't dwell on the last one that much because as hard as you try, it's not going to change it. So all you can do is change the next one and get better. And I think that's a saying or a thing that we live by, and I think that helps a lot in situations like that where we're down 2 sets and we're kind of like, okay, well, all we have is this point that we're in right now, so let's just try and attack this point as hard as we can.
What do you feel, Ella, has been the key for this team when things have gone well? What have been the biggest things you watch on film when you see those points go your way? What does this group do really well when things are going right?
Energy. I think energy's been the biggest difference maker for us. You know, just coming together, it's something that we've emphasized the whole season. I think it just makes us have fun and just play even that much harder. I know, like, these 2 games this past weekend were some of the most fun games we played this year. So,
the energy level, what's the key, and who do both of you really put credit of being the key to that energy? I know you put it on everybody. It's everybody as a team unit, but who are some key team members that really help with that energy level?
I think Jillian, she's definitely a girl that's always, like, ready to celebrate anybody. And I think a big difference comes in when Annabelle gets in that just fierce energy that she can bring. I think I love seeing that out of her. As kind of more of a quiet kid naturally, I love to see her get hyped up. So.
How about for you, Kelly? Who are some of the key energy pieces to the Saluki volleyball this year?
I want to shout out Julia. She's super epic on the bench. I mean, this year the cheers have been so creative, and it's so fun to, like, hear a new one every couple points and just be all bought in and hooting and hollering on the bench.
All right, what's the best cheer? I'm putting the pressure on you. So what's the best cheer during a Saluki volleyball match?
We pulled out a new one this past weekend where we bench pressed one of our players.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know if you've seen it on ESPN Plus, but someone's, like, lays down on all fours and then someone gets on top of them. We get one player just lift them up and go for about 10 reps, and it's fun. I think the parents love it too.
I'm sure everybody loves it. You got to be creative with those,
Gotta.
especially when you have so many points. I mean, you can't just treat every point the same as you go throughout the year. I don't know how much it gets talked about within the team, but of course now this year within the Valley, it's a different playoff format. Only the top 6 teams go, and as of right now, you're right on that cutting line of getting in. How do you all as a team really approach that to know, hey, these matches that you're playing the rest of the year are really important? You don't want to necessarily overstress it where you're tight and tense, but also know sense of urgency is a high, especially if you want to compete for that conference championship, Kelly.
Yeah, our season goal is to make the conference tournament, and I think proving everybody wrong and proving that we're a team that needs to be reckoned with. Just taking every game seriously and preparing as best we can for every team. Whether that's a win or a loss, it's a win or a learn in our book. So we need to figure out how to improve every skill or an area that was weak in that game. We can better for the next game, just to get better and try and scrape out the wins that we can.
How about for you, Ella? Just in terms of the mindset of knowing that's a goal for this team is to be in the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, that's been since preseason, in the summer, that's been number 1 for us. And I think this group sees adversity as a privilege. So anything that comes in our way, we still have that tunnel vision on that at least 6th spot, if not better, making it to that tournament. So I think just with everyone with that goal in mind, we're just ready to do whatever it takes to get there.
The differences of over the weekend versus that 5-match losing skid. I know we talked about energy level. That's always important. But what do you believe is, you win and you learn. What were the biggest learning lessons during that 5-match skid, Kelly, for all of you?
Yeah, I think some of the times we get in our head for some of those points. I mean, we let some runs go that I think we definitely could have bettered and fought through, clawed a little bit harder. But again, watching film, looking at your skills, and just seeing your energy level, your body language, and what else you can bring to the team. If one area is not going well, what other area could you pick up in and really help the team?
Look, there's still a lot of volleyball left. I know we're about probably a month away from when that Valley tournament's going to be in about mid-November. But it can go by in a blink of an eye. Ella, we'll start with you. We've talked about the focus of, hey, this is where we want to reach our goals. But also, how do you maximize of, hey, there's only a month left of this season after all of you have been hard at work since you got here in early August.
Yeah, I think right now we're really valuing each other. We know that the people in this gym right now is a really special group. So, I mean, we do what we can to enjoy each other, like, off the court, too. I think that's a really important piece in translating onto the court as well. But I think we're really just trying to soak in the time that we have together with such a special group of girls.
There is, in today's day and age with social media, et cetera, I mean, there's more access to your games than there ever has been. But Kelly, as someone who's been here, who's worn this uniform, who's had so much blood, sweat, and tears within the program, what is something that you're going to take away of being a Saluki volleyball player that maybe most wouldn't comprehend that comes with being a Saluki volleyball player? Like, what's a lesson of being within this program that you're going to carry for yourself for the rest of your life when you're done after here at SIU?
I think the team camaraderie is something that's really hard to explain to people that aren't in a competitive sports environment 24/7, basically. Everything we do on the court obviously translates to our record, which people is the first thing that they look at. But off the court, how you're doing in school or how you're handling yourself in social environments, like all those things also translate into the team for better or for worse. So you really have to be diligent about who you are through and through, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So it really is important that you're performing the best in every area, not just volleyball. So I think that's one of those things that I'll take away, where it's like, it's not just the team when I'm at practice or when I'm at the game that matters. It's every single time. Am I prioritizing sleep, eating well, drinking water? Like, all these things will correlate to how I'm performing on the team, which you wouldn't really think correlates a ton, but it really impacts the team as a whole.
When you think of team success, it's hard to be successful without solid senior leadership. You got one of the seniors here off to your right. What has Kelly meant to you? And not just Kelly, but when you look at the senior class, how has this been a really positive senior leadership class, especially when you mix in the new staff, you mix in all the other things that go with it? How critical has been having key leaders like Kelly to the success of this year's team?
Yeah, I think they lead with love, which is a big part of it, but also we're a group that has emphasized, being able to have tough conversations because it's for the better of the team. I think each of us can, put aside the pride and respect what each other are saying. But I think the seniors this year have done a great job and just been there for us through it all. They have our back, so it's easy to listen to them, and I think everything they have to say is just, you want to listen, and they're just great people.
Kelly, it probably should have been a question I asked you earlier, but when you see someone on a heater, you've been on a heater before within a match. When you get a chance to really see Ella go off like she did against Bradley, I'm sure you enjoy it when it is you going off, but what is it like when you see, man, Ella's on a heater here tonight? That's got to bring a lot of juice too.
Yeah, it's awesome. You can feel the energy. I mean, when someone's on a run, it's hard to not give them the ball and just keep feeding them. It's electric to see somebody just crush the ball and find success in pretty much every swing they have, and it's all for the better of the team. So whoever it is that takes it, it's just awesome to be around.
Look, homecoming week is always a fun week with so many alums, so many people coming back. Your program is going to be on the road. That's going to be one of the few programs that is on the road this weekend. But with Valpo, UIC, as you kind of preview the weekend, I know we've touched up on it multiple times within the interview, energy level, all those things are going to continue, I'm sure, in your next answers. But Kelly, we'll start with you. How do you maintain it? How do you build off of what was two really good matches on the road, keep that momentum on the road? And maybe what is it about this team that enjoys being on the road and performing with each other?
Yeah, I think finding our strengths and eliminating our weaknesses will be a strong point for this weekend. We've seen these teams before, so watching that film and just dissecting every bit of it that we can emphasize on or take away in these upcoming games. Yeah, just ready to crush the weekend, honestly.
Absolutely. Ella, how do you crush it this weekend?
I think it's even more special to be able to walk in somebody else's gym and take it to them. So I think it's just that extra boost of motivation that we have. And I think, we've been searching kind of for the spot that we were at this weekend for so long. So I think we're ready to ride that out. And I think we're just in a great spot to go into this weekend.
Well, ladies, congratulations on what was a great weekend. But again, like you said, there's still a month of volleyball here left, and you're in the hunt. And I think that's ultimately where you wanted to be in position to have a chance to accomplish your goals. We look forward to watching you this weekend on the road, and let's hope we have some more positive things to talk about here in this final month, okay? Appreciate the time coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Once again, that was Kelly Franklin and Ella Swanziger. Join us here on the show. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here on Inside Saluki Athletics for the Wells Production Studio.
Welcome back to Saluki Basketball, Saluki Nation. It's great to have Jaheim Weber, truly the BMOC, the big man on campus. Jaheim, thanks for being with us, and thanks for coming back.
Yeah, of course, no problem. Glad to be here.
How is the day-to-day going for you, second year around? Walk us through, if you would, what's a typical day, Monday through Friday, like for Jaheim Weber?
Get up, try to get something to eat before practice, and go to practice, have lift after class, and then maybe get shots up later or work out later. So basically that's about it. Just chill after that.
How many hours are you carrying this semester?
Credit hours 12, so I'm in 4 classes. I took 2 classes over summer, so yeah, nothing too crazy.
Is it spread out where you have 2 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 2 on Tuesday, Thursday, or how does your class schedule work?
Well, I have 2 classes every day, so I'll have math every day, and then I'll have another class along with that every day too. So it's basically just 2 a day, like 1 and 2 or 2 and 4, and then I'm done. So it's pretty smooth.
Jaheim, have you declared a major yet?
Yeah, I'm accounting actually, so that's going good so far.
So you're deciding to take the real stuff. That's the no joke business there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just getting
Jaheim,
started.
we're going to talk a lot about basketball throughout this interview, but let's start off and talk about, from last year to this year, your approach to school. How has your approach to school changed now that you're a veteran? you're a second-year student. What did you learn from year one that you have to apply differently in year two?
Just managing my time, really. I mean, I have obviously last year I had study hall hours, and now I'm out of that, so I have to just make time on my own to do my schoolwork. And so far, it's been going pretty good. Just recognizing that student comes first and student athlete. So just realizing I'm here to get an education along with playing basketball. So I'd say just managing my time better, and that's something that I've kind of picked up from last year. So.
Do you have a formula in your head about how much time you got to spend each day or each week per class? Do you kind of know how that works?
I mean, I don't have like a set formula, but I kind of know how it works. If I just manage I'm gonna do this assignment right now, and then I'll do this bigger one later, and just things like that. Just kind of going through my stuff and seeing what I got to do.
Our daughter-in-law is an accountant with Eli Lilly. She has a great job. She's with Grant Thornton, had been a part of that accounting world, and man, it's a grinder, man. Especially when she's on the auditing side. There's so many facets to accounting. Where do you think accounting might take you someday?
I mean, I don't know. It's a little early to tell, but I mean, hopefully one day I can get a job at a firm somewhere, either private or maybe Big Four, and just working on that, I guess. And I mean, I'm planning on getting my master's as well. So, I mean, I got a long time to go before that, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
That's a great plan, man.
Yeah.
I know that you know this much about accounting. From January to April, you don't get much sleep, let alone have any type of life. So that's a real interesting field, and it's just great to hear all you guys talk about what you're studying and how important it is to you. And because there's a misconception out there that this thing's become professional basketball and these guys don't even go to school anymore, and there's anything but the truth. And thanks for sharing that time with you. But let's go into basketball now, man. You look great. What's going on in the weight room that's working so well for you?
Just listen to Coach Show. That's basically it. Yeah, just doing what he says, and likely I've been able to get stronger over the last summer, and even from last spring. I feel like I've gotten a lot stronger, so that's been going pretty well for me.
What are some areas in the weight room more specifically that's really been good for you? That something that maybe you hadn't done before you got to SIU, and Coach Schoenack has really gotten you going on it.
I'd say my squat's gotten a lot better. Just even my form and stuff too. Coach Show has been working with me on that a lot. My bench press, just upper body strength in general, has just been a lot better, and I feel it on the court as well. Just being able to, use my body in a more efficient way. So I'd say those two things are the biggest improvements I've seen in myself.
Tell myself and the fans listening, just how does that transfer over to being on the court by that weight room into the court? Or were some areas where you see that, man, in year two, this is really working for me?
I mean, it translates, just by it helps you use your body better. Like I was saying before, use your body more efficiently. I mean, for a guy like me, I set a lot of screens. Maybe I set a harder screen just because I'm stronger, and just being able to kind of control yourself better, really is what it is. And I feel like that's what something from the weight room that transfers over to the court.
How's your conditioning? How are you running the floor this year, maybe as opposed to when you got here? See, I have to believe I saw you play your the first summer, a year ago in the summer, and like every freshman, especially every big guy, at 94 feet now, that gets a little bit long. How has that become? Have you become more accustomed to the length of floor, the pace of the game, and the conditioning factor?
I mean, yeah, just with practicing and stuff, and coach is on me all the time to run, so it's kind of hard not to when he's on me like that. But I'd say just practicing and playing, getting used to the speed of the game. I feel like this year I can see myself It's been a lot better for me. I've been able to get up and down better, and not only that, posting harder, setting harder screens, and just being able to kind of be more free on both sides of the floor. That's a big help, and I feel like conditioning helped me with a lot with that for sure. So
let's go back a year ago. How tough was it for you to mentally process a year where you were not going to play in a game because you redshirted? How tough was that on you? and then maybe we'll go into, if you'll share with us, how that's helped you to get to where you are right now.
I had a pretty positive mindset about, redshirting last year. I understood that, taking that year, really, it helps a lot of people, and it helped me as well. And I feel like just knowing that, this year I have a year of, practicing and traveling under my belt and just being around like, a college program. And I feel like that experience alone is going to help, just with me like now playing and stuff. And I got a year to learn the system and all that stuff. So I feel like a redshirt year really helped me a lot. And hopefully that shows in once we get playing here.
At what point did you understand that you're going to get a fifth year? Now with COVID and so many, funky things that went on and different type of adjustments with the rules. I mean, it used to be a flat out, I think we're back to this now, where you have 4 seasons over a 5-year span to play. But at what point did you realize, hey, I'm going to be at this level when I'm 18, but when I'm 23 as a fifth-year senior, I'm going to be at a much higher level. Did you ever think about that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's 5 years, 5 years of getting better, 5 years to work, and, just to be able to get an extra year is a blessing to me. I feel like it's going to help me a lot later on in my career. So
maybe you'll think about this 4 years from now, but we used to say there were 2 types of players at senior night. They were both crying because it was going to be their last home game as a senior. One was crying because they redshirted and they're just so blessed and thankful for that extra year. Yeah. The other was crying because they were a 4th-year senior and they wish they had one more to go. Yeah. And I can't wait to see you. Of course, we got a lot of time to enjoy in the meantime, but when you get to that point, I got a feeling those tears are going to have a different meaning than a lot of people. So congratulations to you for a great decision. And congratulations to your coaches, because it takes a lot of patience and a lot of forward thinking for all of you. So, back to the basketball side, how important has Jorge Marino been to you, both last year and now, helping getting you ready to get on the court and be a part of this action?
Yeah, I mean, Jorge has obviously been a great leader for me. Last year, especially coming in, he's someone with experience. He's older, big body. Just to bang with him practice every day is really got me better. Obviously it's not easy banging with Jorge, but I mean, yeah, just Jorge's a great dude. We live together. He's been a great leader for me, and he's been very important, and just helped me get better and helped me have more confidence in my game and things like that. So, for that I'm very thankful.
What are some things defensively Jorge does that you've noticed that you've had to incorporate in what you do because it's really successful? Just a lot of things, actually. Just being up on screens, ball screen coverage and things like that. Communication is a big thing, something I'm still trying to work on myself. And I mean, yeah, just knowing your role on both sides of the floor and just using your strengths, and yeah. How about on the offensive end? I was, and I think I can speak for both of us. And when I saw Jorge use his feet, especially in conference play, when the game slowed down, he kind of knew, what coaches wanted and everything, and just the way he could use his feet and score. Offensively, does he do some things that you say to yourself, "Hey, I need to incorporate that into getting us a bucket that way too"? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, yeah, he put some pretty crazy moves on me. He's got soft feet and knows how to use his body very well for his size. And he's Jorge. Yeah, he'll definitely surprise you with the moves he puts on for sure. So, yeah.
When I get a chance to talk to Luke Martin, that's pretty much every day, and he's at every practice, so he keeps me clued in to what you guys are up to, and then whether it's Justin Inslee or any of the other assistant coaches, when I get a chance to visit with them about players, Jaheim Weber's name comes up every single day. At what point, whether it was this summer or this fall, did the flip switch for you? At what point did the switch flip for you, where you realized, hey man, I can do this stuff at this level?
I feel like I had an injury over the summer. I was out for like 4 weeks, and I feel like during that time I had a lot of time to kind of mentally prepare myself to get back and get better. And fortunately, I was able to come back and, not miss a beat and stay with the team and everything. So I feel like during those 4 weeks when I was out, just kind of seeing, everybody practicing and stuff and just wanting to be out there, I just mentally prepared myself and just decided, hey, let's attack this, and just kind of trying to keep that attack mindset as we progress towards the season. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Regardless of what any of us do in life, I mean, whether you mow grass like I do or you're an accountant like you're going to be someday, play basketball, golf, or whatever, confidence is the word that everyone has, and that is successful. Where would you say your confidence is right now? Is it something that's on a northern trajectory? How do you feel about yourself, just in general, about being a college basketball player?
I feel like at this point in time, I'm pretty confident in my game, and that's a tribute to my teammates and my coaches as well. Everybody's been very supportive of me, and just giving me the tools to be successful. And I feel like it's definitely on an upward trajectory, and hopefully that's something I can take into helping us win ball games. So.
You used the word tool. I've been asking that question to every one of your teammates. I'll ask you, what tool do you bring to the court? What specific tool, whether it's offense, defense, rebounding, whatever it is, what do you know that Jaheim Weber's got to bring to Saluki basketball for this team to be successful every night on the court?
Just playing with an extreme amount of desperation and intensity, rebounding, running the floor, posting hard. Those are the type of things that, that you can expect to see from me for sure.
Jaheim, thanks so much for spending time. I know you're a busy man, and both on the court, off the court, in the classroom, you guys are, I witnessed for my whole career you guys doing it. But again, when I hear you talk about it, man, you guys have a full schedule. I hope you're getting enough sleep, and we are thrilled to be able to watch you guys play this year.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
As we wrap up here on Inside Saluki Athletics, we want to remind you on Saturday at 11 a.m. before the Salukis take on the UNI Panthers for the homecoming football game will be the Itchy Jones Celebration of Life at Itchy Jones Stadium. The program will feature speakers followed by a reception and an open mic. There will be refreshments and a cash bar. Arrive early and you can park in lot 56, which is right across from Itchy Jones Stadium, and there will be parking on the hill. Again, the Itchy Jones Celebration of Life on Saturday at 11 a.m. A lot of events happening, starting with Saluki Soccer, big-time matchup on Thursday with Indiana State. You can watch that game on the Valley on ESPN, and we'll be here in Carbondale. So get out there to support Saluki Soccer in what will be a game that will figure out those conference standings and see who's going to be in a position to host a Missouri Valley Conference tournament game in soccer. And then, of course, big football game on Saturday, 2 o'clock kick. Our pregame coverage will begin at 1 o'clock on Saluki Radio. Thanks so much to head coach Nick Hill. Kelly and Ella join us from Saluki Volleyball. It was such a fun conversation. They'll be on the road this weekend, but should be all fine as the Salukis just swept their most recent road trip. And then Coach Watson catching up with Jaheim Weber. Still more interviews to come as we get closer to the start of Saluki basketball season. I believe 13 days from tip now. Gosh, it goes by so fast. Saluki Nation. We appreciate you tuning in here on this Tuesday from the Wells Production Studio. We will talk to you all next week. Same time, same place, Saluki Nation. Go Dogs.